Removed by Reddit on account of violating the content policy, /help/content policy. Never forget the dancing plague of 1518. Probably devs were installing a new mod or something. Nice try, great code monkey in the sky. I ain't telling you what bugs to patch. I can't remember what it's called, but the scientific phenomenon of particles and photons behaving differently when observed. They aren't being coded into the environment if no player is observing that area. The USB plug still the wrong way after you turn it over. I used to work in a pharmacy, so I asked about 100 people for their name and job every day. A couple weeks into the job, I mentioned to a coworker how I hadn't had a single customer with the same birthday as me. Got 4 of them over the next 2 days. Edit. Another time I realized we were living in a simulation was when I said something online and 40 people replied to me saying the exact same wrong thing about the birthday paradox or the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Lazy devs copy-pasting code. Going into a room and forgetting what I was gonna do. We're Sims and they cancelled the action. My hilariously bad luck with traffic timing. A 2-lane road could be completely empty for half an hour, and then the second I pull up to turn onto it a massive line of cars rolls up that I have to wait for. Once I finally turn after they pass, the road is empty again. I used to live on a mostly empty road like this and it happened so often that I was convinced it was NPCs spawning on my location. The pens. I used to go to large corporate meetings a few times a year. They gave out pens and notepads to everyone, as if I was going to take notes. I would take pens from empty seats and from coworkers and take them home. A dozen at a time at least. This went on for years. So where are the pens? There should be hundreds of them in my home. I should be able to stand anywhere and look in any direction and see a pen, but no. Outer space not having sound. Very convenient, dear devs, very convenient. Who's controlling me and why did you make me so awkward? Our Sims can play The Sims. Dreaming. The Big Bang, there was nothing and then there was everything. Sounds like a program starting up to me. Also particles acting differently when being viewed. I can sometimes think of a movie or a song. And that bitch either shows up in some form on my suggestions or my actual television. Too many things taste like chicken. What is the stupidest thing you've heard someone say that they were 100% serious about? At one of my first jobs as a graphic designer, a client called me into his office and pulled up a photo he took. He then asked me if I could turn it around. No, not rotate it, but turn the viewpoint around. He wanted to see what was behind the camera when he originally took the photo. God, I have so many stories from that job. A guy I work with said that a football referee runs over the distance of a marathon during a game. I pointed out that a football game was only 90 minutes long and that the marathon record was just over 2 hours, so that would be impossible. He said it was possible, because a football referee changes direction a lot during a game, and it all adds up. English teacher here. Once, while showing my class the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet, I had a student stare at the screen in utter confusion for half the movie before she said, "How can he be in this movie? He died in Titanic." At age 27, my friend said that he had gotten into a fight with his girlfriend because he knew that his parents didn't have to have sex to conceive him, his mom got pregnant with him because they got married. Yeah bro, it says carbonated because they removed the carbs while standing in line at a drugstore. Best eavesdrop of my life. Can you email me back the PDF I emailed you? It's my only copy. A professor in college refused to give back our tests because you should know what you did wrong. Someone I know argued with me that I do not live anywhere near Canada. He got pretty nasty about it too. When I showed him proof he said, well, I only know Texas. I live right outside of Detroit, Michigan. Closer to Canada than I am to any other state. I have also had a few people argue with me that I do not live in the Eastern time zone. I guess they know better than someone who actually lives here. I was stationed in Germany in the late 80s to 90s. Every Thanksgiving multiple dudes would be perplexed as to why the Germans didn't celebrate. A dude once told me he was excited to celebrate the 4th with the Germans and asked if they did fireworks. I love you my brothers, but some of you are dumb. How can Hawaii and Alaska have such different temperatures when they are right next to each other on the map? I don't have an email, I have a Gmail. Fuck call center work. A guide dog's job is to drive the car for the blind person. 20 years later and she'll still argue the point. When I was a kid, and on and off when I was older, until after it was decommissioned, my dad worked at a nuclear power plant. I was mentioning this to a college-aged coworker at one point. I think I was telling a story about take your daughter to work day or something, and coworker stops me. Wait, those are really real. I stopped talking, at a loss for words. I then had her repeat what she wanted to know. Nuclear power plants are actually real things? I thought they were made up for like The Simpsons. I was on a date at an art museum. The painting tag said who it was made by the title and made circa 1600 and she said, do you think the earth was even around back then? You just never really know. Blueberry muffins you buy pre-made don't have any blueberries in them. Blueberries cost too much. They dye bees blue because they have the same texture and use them. He has explained it to multiple people multiple times. What's an important lesson you learned the hard way? Do not spend like there's no tomorrow. Tomorrow will come and it won't be pretty. Never have kids with someone you don't want in your life forever. Money doesn't exist until the deposit hits your bank account, and business promises mean nothing until legal documents are signed. Learn when to stop drinking and call it a night. If something feels wrong, it likely is. Dental care is expensive. Never be lazy with oral hygiene. Not everyone has the same heart as you do. Not everyone is a good person. Some people actually want to see you fail. Stop oversharing. These nasty people will use it against you. Don't let love blind your eyes, red flags are real. A falling knife has no handle. It's possible to make no wrong moves and still lose. Just because a person with authority tells you to do something, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. 1,000 is not a lot of money to have but is a lot of money to owe. Your family doesn't always have your best interest at heart. Wear a helmet. It's an easy safety precaution you can take when rollerblading, biking, skateboarding, scootering etc. And it can literally save your life. Went all through the 90s thinking helmets were lame. Fell while rollerblading in my 30s and got a subdural hematoma. I wasn't going fast but the momentum from how I fell just slammed my head into concrete. Helmets save lives.